Hey everyone, Chris of Midlife Crisis Media here. Welcome to part 2 of my Switch edition of my Video Game Collection 2024 live streams. This one's been delayed a few times. Had some family emergency type stuff happening. Had to put off streaming for a little while. I haven't done anything since the end of month pickup stream that I did at the end of January. So it's been a little while. A lot of practice. Did not forget, though, why I do these streams. 4 reasons. 1, it's good content for the channel. 2, it's good to have a visual record of your collection somewhere, just in case something bad happens. Get to talk with all these awesome people. And 4, it's fun. So, last game I talked about in the stream was... what was it, Fire Emblem Heroes or Fire Emblem Warriors, the first Fire Emblem Warriors, because I had that big collector's set or limited edition set or whatever it was. And we'll continue from there, starting off with the sequel to that, which I have not played yet because I still have not completed the first, and that is Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Ended up snatching this up for about half off, I think it was, when I went to Best Buy one time looking for some movies. And found this in the video game section. It was already discounted. And I think this had only been out for maybe like 3 months or something like that at that time. So finding this already discounted, which is like a Nintendo, property already discounted, which is unheard of. I snatched it up just in case it happened to be some sort of an error on Best Buy's part. So I wasn't going to pass it up. But more of the same type of Musou, beat 'em up action, which I love. So, looking forward to getting into that. What's up, Game Room? How's it going? Been a while, bro. Welcome. Get a little drinky drink real quick right here. Let's see. Next up we have, and I have a special box for this one. And this is the port of Flashback or remake, Master, I guess, is the way to describe it. There's been so many different versions of this game on multiple consoles over the years. Started off with the Genesis version. Then there was a Super Nintendo port. Then there was a really good port on the 3DO, which I own, and I think is still probably my favorite, retro version of the game. The 3DO version is fantastic. And then out of nowhere, we got this, remastered version of it. And I didn't even realize this thing existed. I remember I just went onto Amazon while I was at work one day and saw that this was there. This was listed. And I was like, yeah, there is no way in hell I'm not buying that. Because this is one of my favorite of the old school, cinematic platformers, like the original Prince of Persia or Out of This World or Another World. What else was there? Blackthorn, that kind of thing. So it's a side-scrolling platformer, but it's all about the animation and precision platforming and that kind of stuff. And the story's pretty awesome, too. Dude's memory gets erased, and he's trying to find out why it was erased. Turns out it has to do with this big alien invasion plot. And the version that I ended up snagging is the collector's edition, the 25th anniversary version. And this comes with what I think is pretty rad. So it comes with an instruction booklet, which is too big to fit. I mean, it's actually taller than the snap case, which is kind of stupid. But full color, really, really thick cardstock. I mean, this is quality. It's actually hard to open all the way because of how thick the pages are, but really nice matte finish, full maps of the areas and all that, like some of the frames of animation of the main character. And it also comes with an alternative box for your cartridge, which is a steelbook that looks like a Super Nintendo cartridge. Even has Flashback logo on the back where the label would be, and it tells you the idea behind the game. And it also has a card in here to tell you what edition your limited edition is. This is, out of 40,000 copies of this is copy 25,838. Not too shabby. We're usually working during this time slot. I'm glad you're here, dude. Like I said, it's been a while. So super happy to get one of my favorite games like this, and I think I'm on the last. Like the last time I played this, I was on the last stage, and I was getting frustrated, so I gave up. But I've played through this game multiple times. It's real fun. Awesome. Next up is a limited run game that I have not played yet. Like I said, when it comes to all the limited run stuff, except for maybe an exception of maybe 3, I have not played most of them. That is Flint Hook. This is available on I don't know how many other consoles. It was only available, I think, on the Switch at first. Then it got a port to, I think, the PS4. I probably prefer to have it on the PS4, but whatever. I think this is like a platformer. I can't really tell. It's been a long time since I bought this. This is like when they were first starting to sell Switch games on limited run. So this is like 2018 maybe. But I think it's like a platformer. And I guess the big mechanic is that you have a hook shot to ascend. So yay. This is another limited run game, but I have played this one extensively. I have a t-shirt of the game that I bought at the same time. I actually got a bunch of people at work interested in playing this game because of how weird it is. And I remember somebody, I think it was Viking Gamer, I think that's what his name was, in one of my movies that would have made a great video game collaborations that I did, brought this game up as the example as to what his movie that he wanted to turn into a game would have been like. It would have emulated this. And that is Golf Story. I remember everybody talking about this when it first came out. I guess I remember it was only a digital game on the Switch. I don't think it's ever gone anywhere else. I think it's only on the Switch. And yeah, sure, it's a golf game. It's a top-down golf game. There's plenty of these things around, right? But the cool thing about this is it's a story-based RPG that golf is the combat. It's not like you're fighting. It's just that you have a competition, and that's where the combat happens. And a lot of exploration, uncovering hidden areas, that kind of thing. And I played this one quite a bit. It is a lot of fun. It's a cool concept. We've only gotten this a few times. We got like Koro Q with the racing one that was on the PS2. Final Lap Twin on the TurboGrafx 16. World Court Tennis on the TurboGrafx 16. Like sports games mixed with an RPG. It's a cool idea. I wish we got it more often. Maybe we want to play more sports games. And the cool thing about this is it even comes with an instruction manual. Yeah, golf in the game is called Golf. Golf. And I have a shirt that has the logo of the first course that you play through. I can't remember what it is called, but I still wear it to this day. It's an awesome game. Really creative, fun. Here's another. Is this from Limited? No, this is from. I got this from I Am 8-Bit. This is an Annapurna game. Annapurna is one of those companies that makes like these really rad indie games, and I tend to like. I don't think I've disliked any of the ones I've played from them so far. I played this briefly while on a break at work one day, and I liked it, but the thing was the game is really dark, and I couldn't really see what was going on in the room I was in because it was so brightly lit. So I'm like, no, I think I'm just going to wait and play this one at home where I can turn all the lights off in the room and all that and get the right ambience, and I just never did. But we're talking Gone Home, and this is like a walking simulator exploration first-person game. I guess it's like a horror style game or mystery. I don't know. I didn't get very far. Like I said, I played it for like 3 minutes and I was like, no, I can't see what I'm doing. I'll just wait till I get home, and I just never did. But I liked what I saw of it so far. I thought it sounded really fun, and it, like the way it was set up was really cool. And once again, it's like I Am 8-Bit and Limited Run are the only ones that actually give you things with the game. It's like you get a manual with Limited Run. Here they give you a poster. What is that? Kicking against the patriarchy. Revolution. So I need to sit down and play this. So I have decided, I don't think I've talked about this since the last stream anywhere. I've decided that 2024 is going to be my year of the backlog. I'm not going to be playing very many newer games. So I'm going to be just focusing mostly on just like getting through and playing a lot of the stuff that I have sitting on my shelves right now, gathering dust. And I've already kind of started doing that now that I've got the Polymega and that Atari 2600 Plus. I've started playing a lot of my older games, and it's actually helping. You're here in disgust. Also taking notes, as you should. This one I think I got. Yeah, this is another limited run. Have not played this yet. I think this is part of the Gunvolt series. There's a bunch of those. Radical Reggie, I think, was the one that got me on the 3DS version of one of the Gunvolt games. But this is Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger 9. Yeah, 1X, that's 9. Yeah, Luminous Avenger 9. Sure, whatever. And the other game that I have played, there's... Do I have that here as well? I think it's called Mighty Gunvolt, so it might be later on. I had the 3DS version, played that quite a bit. I really enjoyed it. And then it came out, I think, on the Switch, that same set. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just play that on my television than on the 3DS. So I want to say I have that here. Do I? Yep, I do. Spoilers. But yeah, this is I haven't played this one, but the other Gunvolt game I have is a Mega Man-esque side-scrolling like run-and-gun platformer. But the thing about that is you have like a gun that charges up, and then you target something and you shoot your weapon at them. It's really, really fun. I think it was you tag them. That was what it was. You have like a dart gun. You tag the person, and then your shots will go to where you've tagged or what enemy you've tagged. Ooh, can't talk. And that was a really cool concept. I really like that one a lot. So I'm assuming this is another game in the series. It looks like it. It kind of does from the pictures, but I haven't played it yet. Derpity derp derp. So how's everybody doing tonight? I don't know what was going on. Last 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, had absolutely zero problem driving home on the highway. Got home within 15 minutes, like less than 15 minutes each day. Today, get on the highway, and it is a bumper-to-bumper traffic jam. No accidents that I can see, no nothing. It's just I was going to come home and clean up the dome. Nah, I decided to, since I'm going to wear a hat, I'm going to rep Deadpool because that Deadpool and Wolverine teaser trailer dropped during the Super Bowl, which looks fantastic. So I'm in a Deadpool mood. Next up is Has Been Heroes, and I got this from GameStop, and it was like right around the time when the Switch had first launched. It was close. It was within the first year. I remember hearing, I don't remember where, that this was an exclusive from GameStop. And since I didn't own a Switch yet, I was like, well, by the time I get a Switch, that's probably going to be a really expensive game. Buy it now while it's cheap and just have it on hand so when you get a Switch, you have things to play. So I bought it. Didn't get to play it for like a year. And then finally pop it in, and I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's kind of like playing, what's it called? Plants vs. Zombies a little bit. You have like 3 lanes. And you have 3 characters you can play as. I think you can have more, but you have to choose 3 for each fight. And you have like 3 lanes, and there's bad guys coming from the right side in these lanes, and you need to organize your characters in the lanes to attack. And you can do combo attacks and stuff like that. It was okay, but I didn't play it very long. I was just kind of like, yeah, well, that's what I get. Buying into hype. Still have it though. I think eventually it did come out everywhere, and it came out on the PS4 and all that. So here is another one. Where did I get this from? Oh, I picked this one up at GameStop. Yeah, me and my friends went to go and see Black Widow, the Marvel movie, and we stopped at this GameStop in the mall across the street from the theater. And I remember going in there, and it was one of the first times in a long time. It was like right when COVID restrictions were starting to lighten up, too. So this is like 2021. And I remember walking into that GameStop, and I'm like, what's going on in the world right now with COVID and social distancing and all that? That GameStop was a freaking madhouse. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to walk in there. I'm probably going to die. Why am I bald? By choice. And I remember walking in there reluctantly. Luckily, I had a mask in my pocket, so I popped that on. My friends popped their masks on. Not a lot of people in there were wearing masks, which I thought was kind of shitty. But found this there, and I hadn't heard of it. And I do believe it is a platformer, and it is called Hellpoint. I do believe this also came out on the PS4. But all they had there was the Switch version, so I picked it up, and it was pretty cheap. I do believe it's a platformer of some kind, or is it a first-person? It might be a first-person shooter. Yeah, melee and ranged weapons. Yeah, I do believe it's a first-person shooter. Haven't played it yet, though. Post-divorce, I've never been married. I was watching Renaissance stream this on Twitch. Was it earlier this week or last week? I think it was last week. Yeah. No need to be dicks. We're here to have fun, not act like schmucks. So please don't. In fact, since you're here, TJ, I think our promotion is in order. Take a quick pause, everybody. Got to deal with some shit. Oh, don't make me watch a freaking commercial for my own stream. That is some bullshit. Here you go, TJ. Tell me if it worked. Anyway, as I was saying, I was watching the Renaissance, who used to be a pretty awesome YouTuber. He stopped doing YouTube. He went specifically to Twitch. I was watching him stream this, and I'm like, oh, I have that game. I want to know if it's worth playing. Should I get rid of it, kind of thing? Because I've been thinking about maybe paring down my collection a little bit. And I was just like, not the power. Come on, you got to do the sword thing and everything like He-Man. No, I'm not doing that, Meringue. That is not cool. There you go, TJ, your first victim. Anyway, we're talking Hollow Knight. And one of the things I've been thinking about doing this year to when I'm burning through my backlog is I'm going to try to play as many Metroidvanias as I possibly can. With your Xbox controller? That's cool. I took care of it. Anyway, so I'm playing a Metroidvania currently, a newer one. I will not spoil what it is unless you've already seen the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter picture of my pickups from a couple weekends ago. You'll know what it is, but it's going to be, if you don't, you'll know what it is at the end of the month in the pickup stream. Anyway, and I've gotten back into a Metroidvania sort of mood. So I'm thinking I'm going to be playing a lot of Metroidvanias like back to back. And this one I think I'm going to play. So at first when this dropped, I thought it was kind of like a sequel to Shovel Knight, which is one of my absolute favorite action games. That was the first thing I think I ever played on my Wii U. So I said, what the hell not? I'll buy it. And it turns out it has nothing to do with Shovel Knight at all. It's a Metroidvania. And now that I've been watching Renaissance stream it, I'm really interested in playing it next after the one that I'm currently playing. And the thing about this was I got this from Fangamer, and apparently when I bought it, it was supposed to be the core game and all the DLC on one cart. And it turns out they never put any of the DLC on the cart. And I found out about it, I think, on Facebook. Someone said, hey, my cart doesn't have any of the DLC stuff on it. What the hell, Fangamer? And Fangamer's like, oh, look, if you haven't opened it yet, send it back to us. We'll send you a replacement copy. Luckily, I had not opened. Well, you see, I still haven't even opened this one. I hadn't opened it, so I sent it back, and I think within a month, I got my replacement copy that has all 4 giant content packs mixed into it. You can see it at the bottom there. So that's rad. And watching Renaissance stream this really piqued my interest. So this is definitely next up Tonight of all nights, I'm getting the trolls. Awesomeness. Anyway, Radical Reggie is another one, or he talked about this one in one of his videos. It's another game that he kind of like turned me on to, and that is Horizon Chase Turbo. I think there was just Horizon Chase. This is the upgrade version, and it's a throwback to the old Outrun games, the Sega Outrun games. The graphics aren't anything to write home about. They're very minimal looking, like they're very low polygon, but I think it's part of the charm is trying to emulate like the old 80s and 90s games. And it has a multiplayer component. You can play 4 people at once, which is kind of rad. But if you like Outrun, that's the way that I think Reggie sold this on his stream was, if you like Outrun, this is going to be the game for you. And it has like a day and night cycle, different modes and everything. So, yep. I'm not talking about you, Crazy Glitch. I'm talking about the people that I've had to delete. Shovel Knight was perfect for the Wii U. Yeah, that was the first thing I like. You know how my stance is on digital games. I absolutely hate that. But the hype train for that for me had been building and building and building. And at the time, I think it was only available on the Wii U, on the digital store. And when I got my Wii, when I brought it home, that was the first thing I did was download Shovel Knight. I just wanted to play it so bad. Like the whole DuckTales Mega Man thing of it. Just really, I needed to play that so badly that I was willing to put aside my feelings on digital games and get that one. Next up, we have the sequel to Hyrule Warriors. That's Age of Calamity. And since I still haven't beaten the original Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, like I played through that game until the very end, and for some reason, they make you play as Zelda to beat Ganon, and it is really, really hard. And I tried multiple times, and I just could not do it no matter how hard I tried. So I still need to beat the final boss to, check that game off the list. Maybe I need to get a battery for my game, my Wii U gamepad, because that thing crapped out since I've had it in storage for a while. But I want to play through that, finish that one off, and maybe start this one up. But I guess it's more of the same Musou Zelda stuff. Can't wait to try that. This one, Church the Game Grinder was telling me that I needed to get. I think he played through it when it first came out digitally. But like I said, I'm not big on digital games. So I picked up Iconoclasts, and I do believe this is a platformer run and gun. Use your giant wrench to crush machines and help those in need. I remember him talking about this quite a bit whenever I would speak to him, so I had to pick it up when Limited Run put it up for sale, and just like most things I buy from Limited Run, I never actually cracked them open. This one, I made a mistake. I picked this up at a local game store. Well, it's not really a game store. It's a multimedia store. But I go there for games and movies sometimes. And I saw this in the case, and I'm like, what is that? And what is all this extra stuff that it says on the front that it has built into it? I need to know. So I picked it up and immediately told Jason from Corpse Flood Gaming about it, since one of the properties in here is something that he obsesses over. And he immediately went out and bought a copy of it, played it before I could even pop it into my Switch to give it a run, and said, oh, no, it's like a mobile game. So that is Into the Dead 2. And this has modes that are based on Night of the Living Dead and Ghostbusters. Jason is obsessed with Ghostbusters, so I knew he'd want to have this. And while it does look kind of cool on the back, looks can be deceiving, Jason played through it, and he's like, yeah, it's like a glorified mobile game. I made a mistake. So once he told me that, I've not really been in a hurry to pop it in. But it's a first-person shooter. The idea of a first-person shooter with the Ghostbusters Proton Pack just sounded freaking awesome. But apparently it's not the greatest. This one I played also. This is a throwback to like Legend of Zelda, but in a 3/4 view instead of like the full-on top-down. That is It'll Do 2 Plus. Where is It'll Do 1, I would like to know. Is that a Steam game or something? This was one of the first games I bought for my Switch when I first actually bought the console. I talked about that in the last stream about my Switch, that I picked it up. It was like an impulse buy almost when I was Black Friday shopping with my mom at the local Target. And they just happened to, as we're about to walk to the registers to check out, they put a pallet down of boxed Switches because everyone was asking about them. I guess they were just waiting for the right time. And I just happened to be walking past the area where they were putting the pallet down. I was like, oh, sure. And I immediately went on the Best Buy website because I still had that Best Buy's Gamers Club Unlocked thing that they did where you would get like a real heavy discount on games. Bought a whole bunch of them. It'll Do 2 Plus was one of them. Played this one briefly. Like I said, it's a throwback to Legend of Zelda, like the original Legend of Zelda. It's okay. Could have been a hell of a lot better, but, you know, I got it dirt cheap, so I wasn't going to complain. Picked this one up at the Exchange. It still has the sticker on it. I haven't played this one yet, this version of it, but it's a remake of the original game, and that is Katamari Damacy Reroll. It's the original game, just remastered. And if you've played a Katamari Damacy game, you've played them all. They're all the same, but they're all fun. I do like it very much. I have the newest one as well. And eventually I'll get around to it. I might actually get rid of this version of it and get the PlayStation 4 version instead, just so I have them all on the one console. That was really hard to find for a little while. I don't understand why. I remember, I think it was a Best Buy, or not Best Buy, a GameStop exclusive for a little while, and they sold out. And I remember going to GameStop looking for a copy, and none of the ones in my area had them. Ended up finding that at the Exchange. I think somebody sold them a copy of it, or one of the people from the store went to a GameStop and bought a copy of it and brought it back to their store to resell. And I think I paid a little bit more than it would have gone for if I got it at GameStop at the Exchange, but I wasn't complaining because I wanted it so bad. Next up is another special edition this was from Limited Run, I do believe. Is it? No, I did not get this from Limited Run. This one I got from Amazon. That is Layers of Fear Legacy. It is a first-person horror game. Captain Algebra played through this one, and I think the sequel that came out not too long ago either, or he played them both. Oh, I can't talk. It's been a long day. And he said they're okay, which is why I have not popped this open to play it, because he didn't give it the highest marks, and I was like, I can wait. And I got what is this considered? What edition is this? Special edition, I guess? It doesn't really say. But like I don't know, special edition version, I guess. I don't know. They don't say on here. And this includes a few things. So we've got a soundtrack and a poster. That's disturbing. Those effed up flamingos, man. Florida. Look out. And it comes with something. Does it come with something else? The game, the alternative cover, the official game soundtrack, the poster. I'm assuming the alternative cover is on the inside. You just reverse it kind of thing. Oh, excuse me. Let me put this over here. So I'll get around to playing that. Bath Salt Flamingos, damn right. Welcome, Cree. And a couple of Legend of Zelda games. Hell yeah. So Breath of the Wild, I do have this on the Wii U as well. Talked about that in that stream. And that was before I bought a Switch, so I was like, that's the only way I'm going to be able to play that game is on the Wii U. That's where I'll get it from. Or that's what I'll get it for. So you can't talk. And never cracked that one open. That one's probably worth a lot of money. But eventually I gave in and bought the Switch version, and I've played through, I want to say, about half the game. And I know it's like this was a launch game for the damn system, and I'm only halfway through it. Well, I kind of got stuck. I'm on the lightning boss, which is, I think, the elephant at the top of that big mountain. And for some reason, I cannot find the frickin' electrical arrows that I need to, or the lightning arrows or whatever I need to defeat it. So I'm like, well, what do? I don't know. So I really liked it. I basically spent like the first half of, I guess, what would take, when you take how long it would to beat the game and split it in half, that first half I've spent playing it was just going and looking for all the damn towers to unlock the map. And I've barely done it. I've done a handful of dungeons, but like I haven't focused on that. I've been trying to like just unlock the map and then go and do everything I need to do. But it's a great game. I know a lot of people are like, this isn't a traditional Zelda game. No, it's not. It's something new. Like Zelda can't always be the same thing over and over again. It has to evolve in order to stay relevant. I think this is a nice step. Haven't picked up the second one yet. What is it? Tears of the Kingdom. It's still super expensive. I'm not paying $70 for this or for the sequel. No way in hell. I'll wait for it to be discounted. It'll probably take a couple of years, but I don't care. By then, I probably won't even be interested in playing it at that point. I don't know, because it took a while for me to like pop that one into my Switch and give it a go. We'll see. This one I have played through completely, and that is Link's Awakening, the remake of it. And this one is essentially it's the exact same game, except the graphics have been made to make everything look like a toy. Nintendo tends to do that a lot. They did it a lot on the Wii U. They did it with that Kirby game. I can't remember what the name of that one was, but everything looked claymation. Like they did the other Kirby games where they look like Kirby's like yarn. Everyone looked like a yarn puppet kind of thing. I'm trying to think. There was one of the Yoshi's Woolly World one where everything looked like it was made out of yarn, like everything was crocheted kind of thing. It's kind of, I like it and I don't like it. I'm like, okay, it's cool. They gave it a real cool coat of paint. As long as they don't mess with the gameplay here. I never played the Game Boy original, so this is the first time I've ever actually played this one. And yeah, I played through it, front to back, and I had a great time doing it. I know a lot of my friends who are like, the Game Boy game was like one of their favorite games growing up. I don't have that nostalgia for it, so this was great for me. So I absolutely loved it. Puzzles were just the right kind of challenging. They escalated at a good pace, I thought. I liked all the characters. I really liked the ending with the damn whale floating around. I was like, have you been watching Star Wars Rebels, I guess? I don't know. Or people who made Rebels played that game? I don't know. Got this because of Nintendo. Didn't realize that Live Alive, or Live Alive, is it Live Alive? Live Alive? I thought it was Live Alive. Got a port to the Switch. Went completely over me. I did not know at all. And this is an RPG that, it's broken now. I ain't going to play it. This was a Super Famicom RPG from Square that we never got in the States. And there was a time where I was actually considering buying a repro of it on the Super Nintendo from Time Walk Games. Brought them up a couple times recently. They're like the premier repro place for like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and that kind of stuff. When I first got back into collecting in 2013, 2014. And like right after I got back into collecting, I bought a couple things from them and they shut down. So there was no way I was going to be able to get one now. And this is the next best thing. So it's a remaster, I do believe. And it's an RPG where you play as a whole bunch of different characters in like little vignettes. And then eventually all their stories combine and intertwine. That just sounds really cool. That's why I wanted the RPG or the Super Nintendo repro, because that just sounded rad as hell. But at least I get to play it now in a better version, hopefully. Next up is another one of those games that was real hard to find for some reason when it first got released, and I managed to snag it when it first came out, and that is Lost Sphere from Square Enix. I don't know why it was hard to find. I remember like I pre-ordered it, and it came out, and then I remember Radical Reggie like sent me a message asking me about it or something like that. He was like, "Did you get it for the Switch?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, you got something that's worth something there, because I don't think it's it's out. It's like it's sold out everywhere." So I do believe this is an action RPG, but there's really nothing on the back telling you anything about it. Just a bunch of shots of characters. But eventually this did come out on, I do believe, the PS4. So had to pick this one up, mostly because I had received the first game in this series as my backlog roulette game on the Super Enabler Brothers podcast that I do with Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming. And I really enjoyed it. It was one of those games I've been putting off playing for a long time, mostly because when it first got released, people gave it crap, said it was garbage for a launch game for the GameCube. And now it's like this beloved classic, and it's gotten 2 sequels. And that is Luigi's Mansion 3. For a game that nobody liked back in the day, it's certainly getting a lot of love nowadays. And after I played through the first Luigi's Mansion, I was like, yeah, I need to have the third one. I already had the second one on the 3DS. I picked that one up used at some point. I don't remember exactly when. But got this discounted as well. Like I said, it's really hard to get discounted games that are actually from Nintendo on the Switch. But I think this is a Black Friday thing that I got, but I haven't gotten around to playing it yet because I have not beaten the second one yet. And this one I've been attempting to play through for years. And for some reason, I got to a certain point, and then I just ended up sucking ass at it. And I gave up. Like I was on a steady pace moving through the game, and then I got to this one mission, and it's just like, my tactics crappy. Like, do I need to upgrade my characters more and go back and like do other missions over again and get more experience and give them better gear and all that kind of stuff? I don't know, but I'm like stuck, dead stuck. That is Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Did not expect for Nintendo to team up with Ubisoft and give them the license to use Mario characters for and this is what gets me the most, an XCOM style strategy action game, like a real-time strategy game, cover-based kind of thing. It's like, what? Okay, I guess we do need that. I ended up buying this when I first got my Switch through that Best Buy Gamers Club Unlocked thing, and played through this. I was loving it, but then, like I said, got stuck, and I just never went back to it. But I really enjoyed it enough that I got the second one. And I got this recently. This I do believe it was Black Friday in 2023. Yeah, I was going to buy this on Amazon's website because they had it for $14.95. Did it sell that bad? That it's discounted that much? I guess so. And then I was like, well, let me see if it's cheaper anywhere else, because all the other retailers are doing discounts too. And I checked the Best Buy website, and they have the Best Buy exclusive version, which is called the Cosmic Edition, for the exact same price. I'm like, okay, I'll get the one with the extra content for the same price. Why not? So more of the same, but I hear it is not as good as the first one. Yeah, look at that. Just the whole thing. And then this franchise continues. Why, I don't know. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020. Are we going to get ones for 2024 this year? Place your bets. I like these and I don't like these. I like the fact that it's like Mario and Sonic together in the same game and it's not called Smash Brothers. But just some of the games or some of the mini games that they have based on the events from the Olympics are just kind of like, why bother? Like the surfing one, who cares? Like the racing ones and stuff. It's like Mario Party almost. I don't like Mario Party, but I do enjoy the ones I've played in the series. So had to get this one. I have all the other ones. Why not? Like I said, we'll see if we get one for this year's Olympics. Next up, we have another game that I picked up when I got my Switch, and that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I had this for the Wii U. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was probably one of the best games on the Wii U, and definitely my favorite in the series. Until this came out. And it is still getting upgrades and more content added to it. Like, after all these years, still. Because it's that popular. People are still streaming it and stuff. And all the new content and all that. Same with Smash Brothers. They're still getting new stuff. Awesome kart racing game. I absolutely love it. I don't really see much of a difference between all the different characters. Maybe I need to play it a lot more. I always just stick with Luigi. I always play as Luigi. I've never really gone out of that and played or gone on to play as any other character or whatever. But yeah, I'm always playing Luigi, and I have a blast. Super awesome game. Classic, absolute classic. Played this one a little bit. I was a little disappointed in this one. It took I don't remember how long it took for this to get made. We're talking PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era. Started off, I think, on the PlayStation 2, and I think it was just the PlayStation 2. Ended up getting a port of the first one to the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and then a sequel came out for both. But we're talking Marvel Ultimate Alliance, The Black Order. I loved the first two Ultimate Alliance games. I thought they were absolutely fantastic superhero dungeon crawlers. I love me a good dungeon crawler. And like those were fantastic, and get new characters that you can add on as you play and all that. Some of them you could pay for and download. I think Blade was one that you could pay for to download. So when they announced it out of nowhere that there was a third one coming out, I was like, oh, yes, I need you in my life. And then I played it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, it's all right. Not exactly what I wanted, but It's better than nothing, I guess. Still haven't played through it. I know Jason from Corpse Flood was like, it's all right. So-so. So I never really made it a priority to play through it. I'll do it eventually. I've actually been thinking about doing another playthrough of Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 and then maybe go through this. Actually, since I recently beat Diablo 4, I'm also in a dungeon crawly mood, so why not? Keep my Sonic out of my Mario games. Had to get this. Got Mega Man 11. Still getting new games in the mainline Mega Man series all these years later. And this one's okay. It's done with modern graphics, but it's 3D, but it's still 2D. Like the graphics are 3D, but you're playing in 2D. Does that make sense? I guess. Yeah. The same basic Mega Man formula, just with better graphics and new enemies. Absolutely had to get it. I love Mega Man. I don't think it's as awesome as a lot of people I know, like Johnny Millennium and Rob Man and all that, think that it's like the best thing since sliced bread. But I like Mega Man just fine, so I had to get that one. I have all the other games on compilations on Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all that stuff, so why not? Here's another one that I randomly picked up from Limited Run, and I honestly, to save my life, cannot remember what this is. I think it's a clone of Metal Slug, if I remember right. This is one of the first Switch games I bought from Limited Run. That is Mercenary Kings Reloaded Edition, and even the front kind of gives it a Metal Slug vibe. But now that I'm looking at the back, I think that is exactly what it is. It's like a Metal Slug clone. So that's probably why I was like, yes, that. Give it to me right now. I have not played it because it's still sealed. And here's another one that I snagged from... This one's from Special Reserve. Did I get this through Limited Run? I think I bought this through Limited Run because every once in a while, they'll sell a Special Reserve game through their website. It's like as a favor or something like that. So I think I got this from Limited Run from Special Reserve through Limited Run. And that is The Messenger. This is like playing the original Ninja Gaiden, if I remember correctly. So it's a side-scrolling platformer, but it's like super freaking hard. Which is one of the reasons why I have not cracked it open yet, because I'm like, yeah, I want to play it. It sounds awesome. Do I really want to get my ass handed to me that much? Probably not. Let's wait. So I have not popped that one up, but this is heavy. It's probably got, well, let's crack this open and see what's in there, shall we? No, maybe not, because maybe I'll get it on the PS4 and trade that one in. Still a shame that I have not cracked this one open. But like I said, Metroidvanias are going to be the thing this year for me. This one is definitely getting played. And it's a shame that I have not done it yet. And that's Metroid Dread. The longest awaited game in this franchise next to Prime 4 that's still, being made. Had to get this. I was super excited when they announced this in one of those Nintendo Directs. It's like, give it to me right now. It's going to be played the moment I buy it. No, it didn't happen. I ended up not getting it right away. And I ended up waiting for, I think I had a discount on Amazon. I had bought something, returned it, had a bunch of credit that they gave me as a repayment, and used it to buy this. And then at the time, I can't remember what I was playing, but I was like, no, after that, and then just kept on getting distracted with other things, never actually popped it in. But absolutely need to play this year. It looks freaking rad. I hear nothing but good things about it. Nintendo said it was probably the best Metroid game he's played, if I remember right. And then we also have Metroid Prime Remastered. Really tried hard to get this, but this was another one of those games that kind of like came and then disappeared, and now it's everywhere. So it was released, I think, in limited quantities, and I think I'm going to sneeze. Nope. Yeah, this was like released in limited quantities, or Nintendo didn't think that there was going to be much of a demand for this, and they misjudged, as they typically tend to do. I think on purpose half the time. And like I went out to get a copy of it when like it came out, and then I waited until I got paid, and then I was like, let's go buy it. And nowhere to be found. Nowhere. Everywhere online is sold out. All the stores in my area don't have it anymore. I'm like, well, I guess I missed out on that. And then Jason of Corpse Flood Gaming, my buddy Jason in Canada, sends me a message saying like they have a bunch of them at the Walmart by me. And I was like, dude, I was like, dude, go get me one. And he actually he was at home. He's like, all right. And he drove to Walmart and bought me a copy of it. And eventually when we met up, he passed it off to me, and need to play through this because I did not like the idea when it was first announced of a Metroid game being, in the first person. I was like, no, that needs to be 2D. Come on, that's the way it's always been, and it's the way it needs to stay. Just because you can do it in 3D doesn't mean you need to do it in 3D. Well, then I played it on the GameCube, and I was like, nope, this makes perfect sense. It's awesome. So I cannot wait for Part 4 to come out. I think Nintendo did this just to whet our appetites for what is coming for Part 4. But I need to play that as well. And then I picked this one up at Midwest Gaming Classic, I do believe this past year. Oh, no, I ordered this one through their website. There's a couple that I ordered through their website, and then there's a couple that I picked up at MGC last year. This is one of the ones that I ordered through them. And that is Mighty Fight Federation. And this is a clone of Smash Brothers. There's a lot of Smash Brothers clones out there. There's one for Nickelodeon games. There's one that came out for the PlayStation characters. And then there's this one. There's Brawl Out, which is an indie one. And then this one is also another indie one. But this one has like Layla, what is it? Layla, the Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor. What is it? Layla, God, I cannot remember the name of it. Yooka-Laylee. It has Yooka-Laylee in it. It has the Kunio-kun characters. It has the main character from Bloodstained. What is that? Professor Cortex from Crash Bandicoot? Is that what that is? It has... oh, geez, what are their names? Christ, I'm drawing a blank now. Oh, man. Genesis, alien characters. 2 of them. Shit. I know I've got both of their games. No. It's in the T's. Toe Jam and Earl. Could not pull that name out of my ass to save my life. Plus, there's a bunch of like new characters that they made specifically for this. They just licensed a bunch of stuff for it. So it includes I could have just looked at this and it would have told me. I never said I was smart. Includes DLC and guest fighters, Toe Jam and Earl, Yooka-Laylee, Kunio and Riki from River City Ransom, Kunio-kun, and Miriam from Bloodstained. Hey! So I needed to get that because I thought it sounded really fun, and I think I bought this as I was playing Bloodstained last year. And when you buy certain games from Premium Edition, which is run by Jeffrey Wittenhagen, you get like a hard box to keep it in, and also a Nintendo NES style sleeve to put the game in, which is kind of rad. But yeah, I like Smash Brothers. I think it's fun. I have the majority of these games. I think the only one I don't have is the NES or the Nickelodeon one. Had to get this. This is a remake. Yeah, it's a remaster in HD. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. So this was a Sega Genesis one. Monster Boy. I can never remember which ones of these in this series were on the Genesis or the Master System. Do I have Monster Boy? I don't think so. I have Monster... Yeah, I have Monster World 4. I can't remember. Anyway, side-scrolling, like RPG light kind of beat-em-up kind of thing. Remaster. This one's heavy as hell, too. Includes a 24-page full-color instruction booklet and 2 sticker sheets. Oh, boy. Thanks for the stickers, guys. That's why I bought the game. Oh, snap. I never understand that. Like, the people who are playing these games are not 8 years old. Had to snag this because I was playing the original game on the 360. Like when I first got my 360 back in the day, I wasn't as hard against digital games as I am nowadays. If I saw something that looked interesting digitally, I would buy it, especially if it was cheap. And I bought the first game in this series and really liked it. Now I have it on a compilation on physical disc. So I'm glad I have it there. But the sequel, Miss Splosion Man, eventually came out for the Switch. I had no idea there was a sequel to it. I didn't think it was that popular or popular enough to get a sequel, but here we are. And I have played this one. I haven't beaten it, but I have played it. And it's a platformer, and the mechanic is you don't jump. Like, it's kind of like playing what is that? Super Meat Boy, that kind of thing, platformer. But the thing is, you don't jump. You basically have like a meter of how much energy you have, and you explode, and it launches your character, and you can do it multiple times as you're in the air to launch yourself even further, but you can only do it so many times. So you need to like time it right in order to reach certain platforms, or sometimes you need to do it like real quick in a row in order to get really high and stuff. It's really, really fun. Like I said, had no clue we had a sequel, and it's just as fun as the OG. So I was super happy that I snagged a copy of that. And then this is from Super Rare Games, and I still haven't opened it, but I have played this because I had these originally. It was 2 separate editions on, I think, the PS4, and I was like, I'd rather just have a compilation that has everything in one instead of having 2 separate games on the shelf. But I did get a lot of money for the ones that I had. I think they were from Limited Run when I sold them off. That is the Mutant Mudds collection, and these are like side-scrolling platformers with some puzzle elements. And if I remember correctly, this one is the one that has the 2 different background layers. Like there's 3 background layers or something like that, where there's like a close layer where your character is really big on the screen, and then there's one further back where it's like a mid-level, and then one even further in the background where your character is really tiny. And I thought that sounded really fun. It's kind of like Super Mario Brothers 3 looking. So I had to get that. And it has the first 2 games in here. So you have Mutant Mudds Deluxe, Mutant Mudds Super Challenge, and Mutant Mudds Deluxe. What? And Mutant Mudds Deluxe? Oh, that's a Tetris-style puzzle game spinoff. Yay. Next up, I have played through this one. This one was super awesome. It was really short. I want to say I beat this in like 3.5, 4 hours while I was at work. Like we had a little shutdown time, and I remember I brought my Switch just to have something to do until somebody told me that there was something that needed to be done. And I remember I just, in one sitting almost, I think I beat this game. I think it might have been like I played through like 3/4 of it, put it down, came back after lunch, and then I beat it then. And that is My Friend Pedro. Was a Blood, Bullets, and Bananas. Yeah, you're playing, it's like a twin stick shooter platformer. Like you use the second stick on the right controller to aim where you shoot. And it's really, really fun. It's a lot of like acrobatic kind of stuff going on. You can ricochet your shots, and it's really fun. And the game has the weirdest ending ever, but I absolutely loved it. That smiley face. I actually have the beat tweet that I put on my Instagram and all that. I really, really liked it. I just wished it was a little bit longer. But at the same time, I was like, if it went any longer than it is, I might have gotten sick of it because it is very samey. You know, it doesn't really change much as you play. So I guess it's good that it's that short. It didn't outstay its welcome, but I really enjoyed it when I played it. I thought it was super cool. And then I have these 2 volumes of this. That is, I got these from Limited Run. Had to get these since I don't own the console that these are representing, and that is the Neo Geo Pocket Color Collection, volumes 1 and 2. I will probably never own, as much as I would love to have one, a Neo Geo Pocket Color, I probably won't be able to afford one, and plus the games are super expensive, especially the way that I collect complete in box. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to afford all that stuff. So that's a no-go. But getting to play them anyway in a different way is fine with me. So volume 1, oh geez, I can't even read this. Well, luckily for me, I have my phone here, and it has a camera that can zoom in, and I can actually read them. Bleep. Bloop. So that's volume 1. We've got Gals Fighters, Samurai Showdown 2, King of the Fighters R2, The Last Blade, Fatal Fury. What does that say? Fatal Fury what? Circuit? I can't read it. The Match of the Millennium. SNK versus, was it Capcom? Metal Slug First Mission, Metal Slug Second Mission. That is so dark, I cannot read it. It's dark something. And the tournament, or what is that? Big Tournament Golf. Sure, why not? I love Neo Geo. I wish I had the money and the space to collect for the Neo Geo, but I have plenty of compilations of all the games and different consoles and all that, so I'm good to go. I don't think I actually need to do that, but this is a great way to collect for, or to be able to play these games. And then in Volume 2, we've got Mega Man. What's that? Mega Man what? Mega Man Battle and Fighters? Whatever. King of the Fighters, Battle Paradise, Big Bang Pro Wrestling, Baseball Stars Color, Biomotor, Unitron, I guess. Puzzle Link 2. The fonts on these are so crazy. I can't even read that. Something Run. Pocket Tennis. Neo Geo Cup Plus Color. And Card Fighters Clash. Sure, why not? I'll play through these eventually. Turn you off so you don't drain. Derpy derp derp. Had to get these because I love these classic PC games, especially because of the last time I talked about the Baldur's Gate collection that I have. I might actually turn these in for, well, I don't know. I don't think it's required, but I would rather play these on my TV. I can play these on my TV, but playing them on the go would actually be kind of cool too. So, had the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 collection. Also have the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. And this is a isometric dungeon crawl RPG. And I remember a friend of mine had this back in the day on his little laptop and absolutely loved it. I've always wanted to play these games, but I'm not a PC gamer, so I never actually played them myself on the PC. I always wait for a home port. We never got one until this came out. So thrilled about that. They're on a brighter screen. We can always get your Neo Geo Pocket Color modded and get a better screen, better light in the back and all that, right? But that's also money. I remember I wanted to get this on the PS4, but I totally missed. This is when Limited Run was doing 2 sell-throughs in one day, and there's only a certain amount of copies of each of the game available at each sell-through time. And once those are sold out, you're SOL. Well, I didn't get home in time from work because you doing this or buying these things over my phone was really problematic back then. I did not have a great phone. So when I got home, it was already sold out, and I was like, well, I guess I missed out. Eventually, there was a Switch port, and I was like, well, I'll get it that way. That is Oceanhorn Monster of Uncharted Seas, and I do believe this is an action light RPG that's kind of like Legend of Zelda also, but it's ocean-themed. And there's a second one I do believe in the series as well. Had to get this, but it scares me. I know a certain somebody named Mrs. Q-Dog who is still playing this game ever since it came out. She still has not beaten it because it takes forever. And I don't know if I want to throw that much of my free time into one game. If it's going to take me a year to beat, hell no. But we're talking Octopath Traveler. There's a sequel to this out too. It's an RPG where you play as a whole bunch of different characters. It's kind of like the whole Live Alive thing. And a whole bunch of characters, and I guess eventually their stories all tie together in the end. But each character's story is almost like a full RPG in itself, from what I understand. So there's 8 characters. 8. Do the math. Not in my lifetime. If I when I retire, in 30 years, I'll probably play then. Because I will have the time. Definitely, I played through, I want to say half of this, and I got stuck, and I never went back to it. I probably should beat it because I thought it was fantastic. That is Owlboy. This is a platformer. I wouldn't say beat 'em. It's a platformer with some run and gunning mechanics. But the whole thing about this is it's all about verticality. Your character can fly. There's a lot of platforming involved once you land on the ground, but you have characters that you can carry along with you that do different things. And right now I'm stuck with my little buddy right here that looks like Luigi's derpy brother, or derpy doppelganger, I guess. Really fun game. I love the graphics, the retro style graphics. The play is great. The music is fantastic. I like everything about it, but I got stuck. And you know me, once I get stuck, If it pisses me off when I get stuck, I usually don't go back to it until way later. And by then, I might as well just start it over from the beginning because I don't know what the hell was going on the last time I played it. This is another one that I picked up through, I do believe, Limited Run. Yeah, I got this through Limited Run. And there's another one that Church the Game Grinder recommended to me. That is Panzer Paladin. And I do believe this is a side-scrolling hack and slash. So, I had to pick this one up because I love me a good hack and slash. I need to play through all this stuff. God damn. What the hell's wrong with me? Still haven't played this one. I hear this one's not the greatest, but the newest Paper Mario game is the Origami King. Yay. I was not a big fan of the last one that came out before this. I think that was one on the 3DS. What was that? Paper Mario Sticker Star. Yeah, I was not a big fan of that. So even though I remember I got this discounted, but didn't really make me want to bust it out because the last one wasn't that great to me. Will King Ollie bend the world to his origami whims? Not if Paper Mario can stop him. Explore a new world, reunite with the princess, and flatten the king. And these are like action RPGs. Had to get this. This is okay. So Midwest Gaming Classic in 2023. I went to the panel that was on the second stage that Tiger Chainsaw was hosting, and Tiger Chainsaw wasn't actually hosting at that point. It was the Game Beaters were doing a talk with a bunch of indie people, indie NES developers, and some of the things that got talked about were there was one NES game that I ended up picking up a homebrew that was pretty awesome, and then they started talking about like homebrews for other consoles and all that, and then they brought up Premium Edition and all that, and one specific game that was selling out like as they spoke in the convention center, which was awesome. So I was like, "Oh, it sounds cool because I hear it's a Metroidvania, and I love my Metroidvanias. I need to go get a copy of it." Ran out to go get it once the panel ended, and couldn't find it anywhere. It had sold out at the Premium Edition table itself, and none of the other vendors who might have had copies of it that I would have, like I saw as I was doing my rounds, I would have remembered that they had them there, didn't have it, except one. There was one like right when you walk in on the far right side of the vendor's hall, and I guess they were tied in to Premium Edition. Like they sell Premium Edition games at their actual store. They brought a whole bunch with them, and I bought the last copy of Phoenotopia Awakening. And it was the last one that they had that I guess was in the vendor's hall that day. I picked up the last one, and there was somebody else reaching for it when I reached for it. That was how much this was like in demand. So I remember I was like, nope, I may be fat, but I'm spry. I beat you to it, bitch. And it turns out that this is also an exclusive con edition that you can only get at the convention, which is why I think everybody was trying to get a copy of it. And Phoenotopia Awakening is a Metroidvania, and I hear it is actually quite awesome. So I had to get a copy of this. I was really excited that I snagged it. And it also comes with that hard case, but this one actually has metallic highlights on it, on the title, as you can see. And on the back where we have Premium Edition games and G4G. And this is the third game, I guess, that Premium Edition made. And it also comes with one of those Nintendo or NES-style slips. And it also proves that I'm a klutz. That's what it does. Comes with a dog tag. Oh, come on. For gamers. And on the back, you've got the artwork of Phoenotopia, which is kind of rad. So super thrilled that I snagged that. Like I said, getting the last one. And then once I got that, I went back to the Premium Edition table, and they ended up talking me into buying 2 more games. Running toward the end here, folks. Talking about that Neverwinter Nights combo. Also snagged the Planescape Torment and Icewind Dale enhanced editions. So I didn't really know anything about Planescape Torment until I started watching Metal Jesus, because he talks about Planescape Torment all the time. I think he says that's his favorite game of all time. He played it on the PC all the time. And Icewind Dale was another one that my friend that played Neverwinter Nights was playing on his laptop, and that looked pretty rad. But these are also dungeon crawlers, but more on the RPG side of things. And what's the name of that game that I got? Torment. I have it on the PS4. Torment something. Let me take a look real here. Get down to the T's. Where are you? Torment Tides of Numenera is the spiritual successor to Planescape Torment. So it's more of an isometric view, but it is like a lot of talking to people and like reading a novel when they are talking to you. Playing Tides of Numenera, I was streaming it when I first started playing, and I was like, nope, this is not the kind of thing people are going to want to watch because it is so freaking slow. This is something you just play on your own. And I really want to play this. Eventually I'll get around to it, but it always sounded awesome. Metal Jesus always talked it up how awesome it was. I've played this one. This is Poi Explorer Edition. I don't know where another edition of this was available, but first time I ever heard of this was on the Switch. Picked this up at GameStop like dirt cheap for like $10. And it's like it's a 3D platformer that reminds me a lot of playing Super Mario 64. Graphics are nothing to write home about. It's just a simple 3D platformer, going around like gathering items and all that to unlock the next area kind of thing. It's fun. It was okay. I didn't like feel the need to have to play through it. I was like, all right, I played it for a few hours. I'm like, I've had my fill. I'm good to go. And the last game I'm going to talk about here is another one that I have not played, and I got this at Toys R Us, of all places. Like, it wasn't too long before they started shutting them down. But it was dirt cheap. I think this was like on sale for like $10. That is Portal Knights, and I do believe this is a 3D like beat 'em up kind of thing. Can't be sure. I have not played it. But I saw that it was on sale, so I picked it up. Become the ultimate Portal Knight. Travel through randomly generated 3D worlds in this sandbox action RPG adventure. Level up your characters so that you can defeat the Portal Guardians and restore peace to the realms. Wow, that's a generic Dungeons and Dragons style storyline. Whoop. But I'll eventually get around to it. And that is it for tonight. Like I said, it's been 3 weeks since I streamed anything. Like I said, had a family emergency, and my time has been scarce, at least for that first week and all that when it was all going on. And I've just kind of been on standby just in case something else happened, but everything seems to be going okay now. So I got a lot more free time, and work has been very draining, especially this week. It's been a real pain in the butt, but things are looking up. If you have not done so, please head over to my other channel on YouTube, and I'm going to type it into the chat. I do believe it is spelled correctly. Oh, no, it is not. Sorry. YouTube.com/at. That's it. Let me know if that works, everybody. If not, I'll type it in again. Yeah, that's where my podcast movie is starting, is being hosted now. Had to get rid of the podcast hosting site I was using. It started to get too expensive. So now I'm actually making the episodes into like a video form where you can watch them here. And I've already got like 48 episodes uploaded of about 120. So I'm working my way through. No, 48 episodes? No, that's 20 episodes per season. I'm on season 4. So that's 86 episodes right now up for everyone to watch. Commentary track series, and we record a commentary track to a film that we're watching with a guest most of the time. And fun shit ensues. It's like mystery. We intend to talk about the movie and discuss our thoughts on it, because we ask our guests to pick a movie that they are very familiar with, so we can discuss their thoughts on it, like when they first saw it compared to now, that kind of thing. Like what, why they liked it when they were a kid compared to now, all that kind of shit. Share trivia about it, share stories about watching it and stuff. We always end up just devolving into making fun of it like Mystery Science Theater 3000. So check that out. Subscribe if you must, please. And there's still more episodes after this. I'm actually going to be uploading a bunch more. So, yeah, like I said, check that out. Haven't been doing much. I haven't had time, basically, to do shorts or to think about making any shorts. I might start doing it in a few weeks once things calm down a little bit more. We got the stream coming at the end of the month for everything I picked up in January. It might be a pretty fun month for when it comes to that kind of stuff because I've added some pretty rad stuff this month. Church the Game Grinder and his buddy Justin Cardboard Zero came down to visit at the beginning of the month for a near the PlayStation 4 game, near Replicant, near Automata musical orchestra concert. They came down from Minnesota for that, and we went out game hunting and all this kind of stuff, and I found some really rad stuff. And not going to have another D&D stream until probably mid-March now because everyone's schedules are not lining up. So if you want to watch that, go to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/statblock20. And that is my Twitch channel where all that is found. And I've actually been streaming video game stuff there too. I've been playing Riff Tracks the game. So if you like Mystery Science Theater stuff, go and check that out. And it's one of those games that's like Jackbox, where even though you don't own a copy of the game, you can still play it as long as you have the address to join the game. You can play it on your phone or your laptop along with what you're seeing on Twitch. So I might be streaming that again Friday night, tomorrow night. I might try to stream some tomorrow on Twitch. So if you're into that, join us. It'll probably be around 8 p.m. Central. So outside of that, got nothing more to talk about tonight, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me, except for the trolls that were acting like buttheads when I first started. But anyway, like I said, thank you for joining me. Glad to see everybody. Glad to be able to chat. Glad I could give TJ the promotion. And I'll talk to you next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Central for the third and final part of my Switch stream series. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe out there. I will talk to you later. Chris of Midlife Crisis Media out.